How is it going, boys and girls? Welcome back to Key West Waterman. My name is Aaron Young. It is sadly our last morning here at La Jolla and Islamorada, but the adventure's not over. I'm gonna head out actually and do a little bit of diving with a good friend of mine, Jake. He runs charters up here. I'm gonna hang up the rods in my pride and just admit that I've been defeated by the snook, but I'm gonna stick to what I know, and that is spearfishing. I know that I'm good at spearfishing, so that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna head out with Jake here in a little bit. But again, I said it in the last video, genuinely cannot thank La Jolla enough for having us out again. If you are interested in making a trip down to the Florida Keys, I highly recommend checking them out. I'll have some links in the description, and they gave me a code for your stay. Waterman10 will give you 10% off your stay. Like I said, we stay in the lodges, but they also have 30 standard rooms and suites, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful vibe. And I'll talk a little bit more about it throughout the video as well, but yeah, thank you, genuinely, La Jolla, thank you so much. But yeah, I'm getting ready. I've got all my stuff packed. We're kind of just cleaning up the house after a week of making some wonderful memories with Madeline and the family. And I'm gonna head over here shortly, meet up with Jake and them, and we're gonna head out and do some diving. We going diving. So, got down to the boat, and here I thought I was gonna be diving with a bunch of strangers. I know everybody. We've got CJ from Neuretic. We've got Derek, who actually dove with me a few years ago on a charter, and he now makes YouTube videos. What's your channel?
Derek Van Hook.
Derek Van Hook. And we've got Jake, the man, the myth, the legend. Jake's offshore adventures here in Islamorada. We're here. We're gonna head out. We're gonna go diving. Dude, look at all this room for activities.
Thank you.
This thing is sweet.
I built this myself. It took 8 months.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Everything
you see except the steering wheel.
Isn't that more satisfying than buying something ready to go?
And it's like perfect for what I want to do. So
no one will build it the way you want it.
Exactly.
That's what I tell everyone.
I also have this smaller boat right here for smaller groups.
Oh, nice.
Calmer days and stuff like that.
So I'll put all of Jake's info in the description and in a pinned comment as well. And if you're looking to get out on the water, he does all kinds of fun stuff. But as you can see, we've got guns and spear guns and fins and floats and all kinds of good stuff. We're headed out. Let's rock and roll. I know it's hard to tell because it's like 3 to 4, but water is primo clear. So we're on our first spot. Captain, what are we looking for here?
I don't really have a name for this spot, but what we're looking for is just snappers.
What kind of structure?
It's a nice big roll off. Okay. So up on top of the roll off, it's like 55, and it rolls off to about like 75.
I gotcha. Sounds like my kind of spot. We're gonna check it out. Are we in neutral and ready?
Neutral and ready, and about just so you know, Aaron, it's this way about 100 feet.
Okay. Alrighty. Welcome back underwater, everybody. As always, appreciate you tuning in. We're going to talk about a couple of these dives. I've got tons of excuses for this day. Terrible shots, really cool spots. Jake had one of the best grouper spots I've ever seen. I'm excited for you guys to see it. This is our first spot. Always so exciting to dive new areas. I know I'm still in the Keys, but just exploring, seeing new spots that you've never seen. There's nothing more special than that to me. Always gets me so fired up. Really nice bottom. I think the sand was about 70, 75. There was a nice grouper that shot off into a ledge there. Just really nice structure. Nice chunky rock. See a big old Goliath grouper. These big yellowtail snappers. Normally I don't shoot these, but these things are every bit of 18, 20 inches. I decided I'd have my go, and you thought mangroves were hard to shoot. Try and shoot a yellowtail snapper. They do not sit still. And I took a shot. I just was feeling off, to be honest with you, all day. You'll see. I took a shot on a fish swimming out in the way, and you can see I didn't get the best shot. That's why I don't take shots on fish running away. For some reason I did. Maybe just a little excited, and hit it right in the meat. I did probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 drops on this spot. I really had to shorten this episode up. I normally try to keep the episodes around 30-35 minutes. I know some of you like longer ones, but the masses don't like them more than 30-40 minutes. I try to find a happy medium for everybody, but I had to cut a lot out of this. We had so much footage. You can see down on the bottom, 70-75 feet, these big snook. This is not uncommon. I see them all the time in Key West. I just thought it was funny because I've been trying to catch a snook for so long. I go to Islamorada to catch one, and I see them out while I'm diving. I'm ashamed. Got all these great divers around me, and I took the worst shot I think I've ever taken. Right in the meat. That's a big yellowtail, though. It is. In my defense, the fish was swimming away from me and squirming really fast. I normally don't do that. Look how bad that is.
Hey, at least you broke the ice.
I broke the ice. On to the next. Let's see what we can see. This is our second spot, about the same depth. Just unbelievable conditions. It was a little windy, but I'll take clear water over wind any day. Just top to bottom, you could see the fish from the surface. I could see a couple groupers from the surface. And you just take a second and try and absorb this. And it's hard to pick them all up. So you can see about 5 or 6 groupers in the sand. As I get closer, there's some more on the bottom. As I get closer, there's more swimming at me. Now there's 15 groupers, a big cubera snapper. Oh, there's more groupers. Look at them swimming at me. Unbelievable spot. I have good spots. This is some of the best grouper diving I have ever seen. I mean, there are an uncomfortable amount of black groupers here. If you have to, pause the clip. I mean, I tried to count them. There's just too many. If you're looking for a grouper trip, call Captain Jake. I could not believe it. So impressed. And just to be clear, during this trip, grouper season was closed, so we were not allowed to harvest them. But love seeing the populations like that. Bro, what kind of crap you got going on there? What? There's like 35 blacks there. Oh, it's good? I'm not exaggerating. What on earth? You got it pinned up or something? So that first drop, there was obviously other fish to shoot. There was a, I don't know, 10, 12 pound, maybe even bigger cubera snapper. There were some mangroves. I was just taking it all in. Like I said, I dive a lot. I have a lot of really good spots. That's up there with some of the best spots I've ever seen, even during the spawn. During the spawn, the groupers will ball up. I've seen schools of like 40 or 50 in a ball doing their thing, but it was pretty impressive. So now jitters are out. Gonna try and shoot some fish, line up on this mangrove, and just a little behind. I don't know what it was. You'll see, pull the fish in, and again, I hit it right in the meat. I don't know what was going on. I just, for whatever reason, couldn't get it together this day. It had been a while. We've been doing a lot of blue water diving, but you're still shooting fish. I don't know. I couldn't even think of an excuse. I sharpened my tip with a grinder, but that shouldn't do it. Some days you were just off.
Alright, I'm gonna say my shaft bit.
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna come up with some kind of excuse. Like, how did I miss that far off?
That's right. I
Like
missed from 2 feet away.
6 inches. Maybe this
Oh, that makes me so happy.
I hit this this tip with the grinder. Maybe I messed it up. Like an uncomfortable amount of black groupers. If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you may have heard me say I didn't want to start the day off with a miss or a bad shot. It just sets the tone for more mistakes, and you get in your head naturally. Free diving and spearfishing is much more of a mental game than people understand. A lot of sports are. Most sports are. There's so much mental stress and strength required to do it and stay on track and stay calm. When you start the day with a miss or a bad shot, a lot of times you'll get in your head. So maybe that's what this was. I'm not sure. But you know, you have a couple bad shots and you start questioning yourself. You make adjustments. Just not comfortable. You're not in the groove. So it kind of continued. This was a decent shot, but not perfect. It was. I honestly got a little lucky. It caught the fish as it was turning. But yeah, my point being, you may have heard me say that I don't want to start the day with a bad shot because there's so much mental strength required to free dive and to stay calm and power through these situations safely. So if I can help it, I try not to start the day with a bad shot. And I think maybe that's what happened here. Just got in my head a little bit. So you just heard Jake's gun go off. I was up top, so it was hard to tell, but it had a big kingfish roll in, and he was able to get a good holding shot on it. And mackerels are a really soft fish. If you don't have a really good holding shot,
We'll go all the way through?
It's best to try and put a second shot at them, even if you do have a good shot. They're fast, they're powerful, very soft. So you can see CJ here was on his way down and trying to put a second shot in it. Really hate to injure a fish and let it tear out. But he was able to get that second shot and secure a very, very nice kingfish.
Nice. I told you.
Juicy kingfish.
Right there. Yeah.
I took a few dives without shooting a fish, just trying to clear my head, try and mellow out, get back on track. Figured I'd go down and try and shoot another mangrove, see if I can get the shots I'm used to. Normally going for somewhere around the gill plate, depending on the fish, and I line up perfect broadside on a mangrove and goes right over its head. And I can slow that down. You see it twitches just barely, but I should have hit that fish. I don't know. Like I said, I can make a million excuses. I just think for whatever reason I was off this day. Definitely got in my head, that's for sure. This shot was okay, a little high and a little back in the meat, and once I got a good eye on it, I had a feeling it was going to tear out, so I just didn't want to pull that fish right up off the bottom. But if I see a shot that's thin, I try to get my hands on the fish or pin it up against the bottom before pulling on it, because that one was very, very close to tearing out. So I'll be the first to admit I obsess over this kind of stuff, and I can't let it go. I like to understand everything. I have no problem admitting that. It was driving me crazy that I couldn't hit where I was aiming. So I asked Jake if he had another gun, and I hopped in with one of his guns. Similar size, I think it was a little longer. 2 bands, real gun, very similar setup. And my goal is to find out, is it the archer or is it the arrow? So the snapper turns, gives me a pretty broadside, little going away, but I hit it just fine, decent shot, but it definitely wasn't what I was aiming at. I'm always going for the gill plate, and it was a little low and a little behind, so I was definitely off. Turns out it was the archer. Not bad. If grouper season was open, I never seen nothing like that. Jake, I don't like telling people what to do, but you hold that spot near and dear to your heart, okay?
Yes, sir.
That was, I have some pretty good spots, and I think maybe I've only ever seen that many grouper once or twice in my entire life. There was, maybe I can count them. There was every bit of 30, and they were just chilling, hanging out. If you want to come shoot some groupers in Islamorada, call Jake. That was wild. But
and they're all big too.
I know, like juicy ones. So crazy. But man, we've already got a bag full of fish. We're only on the second spot, so kind of see what's going on. Maybe we can hit some more. Hit another spot. Gonna cruise along. Going well so far. What'd you shoot, CJ? Look at that thing.
Little yellowtail.
You gotta call it Gray's Taxidermy.
Dude, it was through the eyeball at least.
Oh, we're having a good time. Alrighty, we're gonna check a wreck. Look at this water. It's like the Bahamas. Unbelievable. The captain has informed me that there's a good chance we may see some wahoo or some pelagics, so we're gonna scale up a little bit on gear and guns and have a look. Let's go have a look. Always exciting to dive a new wreck. This was my first time on this spot. I spent probably maybe 30-40 minutes there total. Did a couple drifts, saw some permit, my camera wasn't on, a bunch of jacks, lots of yellowtail, but none of the bigger pelagics we were hoping for. But like I said, always a treat to see a new wreck. It was really clear this day. You could see the whole wreck for the most part. Just unbelievable conditions. So we did a couple of drifts, didn't see much, a lot of bait and whatnot. I actually saw some permit, but they're closed right now. And I think Jake felt bad we didn't see any wahoo, so. Check this out. Look at this, I gotta bring this in the sun. He's got some leftover wahoo from his last trip. Do the honors.
Enjoy.
Fresh wahoo on the boat, baby. I'm not gonna be shy. Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. That's good.
I take real good care of it.
You bleed it and brain it. Wrap it in paper towels. Oh, it's the key.
Change it after the first.
As I tell everybody, it's key.
First 3 days, every day. Make sure there's no blood on the fish. After the first day.
You gotta wrap it in paper towels and keep it nice and dry. But that was pretty neat. That was the first time I dove that wreck. I always like checking wrecks off the list. I think we're gonna do. You said one more reef spot. We're gonna hit one more reef spot and see what's going on. I'm having a great time. This was the last spot of the day. We only hit 4 spots, had a mess of fish come in, saw so many fish. Had some muttons come in, and next dive you'll see some yellowjacks come in, but after a certain point, I mean, we can only eat so much fish. There's no reason to shoot them just to keep shooting them. Just was enjoying the scenery. So I'm gonna take a couple minutes and tell you a little bit about where we're staying. I know a lot of you guys like this information if you ever you plan on making a trip down. You got some hands-on reviews. And I can genuinely say we come back here because we enjoy it. There's something about this place that we were just drawn to. It just has this magical feel to it. So we're at La Jolla Resort and Lodges on the base. It's located on the bayside in the heart of Islamorada. They have 30 standard rooms and suites, and they also have some bigger units if you have some bigger groups. But there's something about the property that just transports you back in time, and I say that because I grew up visiting the Keys. I lived here for 10 years, but I grew up visiting the Keys in the late 90s, early 2000s with family. And don't get me wrong, the Keys are still amazing, absolutely love them, but it's undoubtedly changed a lot in quite a few areas. And there's something about this property, the second you step foot on the property, you feel like you're in the old Florida Keys. It just has that vibe. It's got all the native trees, the buttonwoods, gumbo limbos, you've got all these giant mature coconut palms. It's just, and I overuse it, and I said it a bunch, I think, in that last episode, but it has that old Florida Keys feel, and there's no denying it. But if you're interested in coming down, again, they gave me that promo code Waterman10 will give you 10% off your stay. Not only do they have a ton of rooms, and it's hard to tell because it's so well landscaped, you can't even see it from the road. I mean, you can see behind me just all kinds of stuff going on. But not only do they have all the different rooms and whatnot, they have a ton of amenities. They've got a pool, they've got boat slips over here, kayaks, an outdoor grill. You can see I've got my Ginu right here. You're located on the bayside. World-class fishing back here, bonefish, tarpon, snook, even though I can't catch a snook. They're out there, trust me. I've seen people catching them. And then right across the way, you go under the bridge, you're on the Atlantic side, you've got world-class diving and offshore fishing over there. And not only that, but you're located right in the heart of Islamorada, so you're in the middle of everything. You've got Robbie's Marina just down the street, you've got the dive museum, you've got all kinds of bars and restaurants within walking distance. We actually walked to breakfast this morning. And I forgot a chum bag, and I went yesterday to drive to West Marine and get a chum bag, and in my truck it took me about 45 seconds. And oh, actually right behind me, I may have to zoom in. Directly out the driveway, straight shot, is Islamorada Brewing, and then you've got Florida Keys Brewing. I think it's like a mile down the road, so you've got all kinds of stuff around you. Oh, and actually for you fishermen, I had to get more ice this morning. They have those big automatic ice things. It is caddy corner about 400 yards down the street, across the street. So you're smack in the middle of everything you'd ever need. There's a ton of stuff, like I said, that you can walk to. But anyways, if you're interested in booking, I'll have a link in the description. And again, Waterman10 will give you 10% off your stay. Genuinely cannot thank La Jolla enough for having us. This isn't one of those things where we're doing this just to get paid or putting an ad on the channel. We genuinely love coming back to this place. You guys know how I am. If you've watched the channel for any amount of time, we don't overload the channel with this type of stuff. It's just not our style, but genuinely love this place. We are drawn to it. But that is all, and let's get back to the action. Off in the distance, they may be hard to see. There were some nice yellowjacks you'll see right here. off in the distance. We were definitely good on snapper, but you know I will always take a yellowjack. They are hard to beat. They just they weren't having it. Pretty deep. I think it was about 70 here. That roll off was down to 85, 90 maybe. Whew, I'm pooped.
Coming up, buddy?
That was so much fun. Really, really great time. Got to see some of the best grouper diving I've ever seen. Just unbelievable. They'll be open in a couple weeks, but really cool to see the populations that healthy. But got plenty of snapper, nice kingfish. We're done out here. See you back at the dock. Not bad. Not bad for 4 spots and a couple of rookies. That wasn't me. I don't know who did that.
Okay. Yeah.
How old are you? 26.
Well, that is all we got. Huge thanks to Jake for having me out. That was the icing on the cake. If people want to, I have a feeling after I post a video of 35 black groupers swimming on the bottom, someone's going to call you for a trip. What's the best way to reach out to you?
Phone number, so 508-280-6034. Call, text me anytime.
You got a website?
Yeah, jakesoffshoreadventures.com.
I'll throw that up on the screen, and
Instagram.
you make YouTube videos.
Yeah, no, pretty much just started, but definitely go check it out. It's just Jake's Offshore Adventures.
I just started at 1.2.
Hopefully I can get to your state. Hopefully I can get to where you're at. But thanks so much for coming, man.
Dude,
it was
seriously,
an awesome
I
trip.
cannot thank you enough.
Yeah, I'll have to come join you in Key West someday.
We're gonna take him up on that. We're gonna show Jake the Key West side of diving.
Awesome.
That is all we have for here. I still gotta run back to La Jolla, grab the boat, and we're gonna head back south. But we're taking some fish home with us. I am locked and loaded, ready to head southbound. What an awesome trip. Just sometimes you gotta stop and take it all in. I still can't believe this is reality. Huge thanks to La Jolla again for having us out, and thanks Jake for having me out for the day. Put me on the fish. I mean, what more could you ask for? Just a spectacular way to end the trip. But I am headed south. I've got some fish to eat, and I gotta get home, get unloaded, and maybe tomorrow we'll put something together with one of those snappers. So I'll see you back in Key West. Tipsy. Not impressed. So I am back home in Key West. Forgot this snapper. This is a yellowtail. I completely mangled the fillet, so we're gonna turn it into sushi since it's already chopped up quite a bit. I don't know what was going on. I for whatever reason could not hit my mark. Not characteristic of me, but sometimes it happens. I was just off. So let's get this thing cleaned up. All right, so yellowtail snapper. Very straightforward. Down the fillet. Normally I'm not doing that. Filleting around the giant hole in the meat, but I couldn't get it together, Tipsy. I don't know what was going on. Been shooting at too many wahoo. Not enough reef fish. Yellowtail is a very white, flaky, tender meat. I use the word delicate. If you don't treat it properly, and it is even if you do treat it properly, I hate using the word mushy because it sounds bad, but it's just soft. Mushy is like a nasty word for soft, but it's just it's a very soft fish. If you don't ice it properly, or if you leave it out on the deck or leave it out in the sun for a while, it'll just be mush. You go to fillet it, it'll just kind of smush all together, almost like a mackerel will when it gets hot. But in the proper form, Yellowtail is quite delicious. I'd say it's probably the most common fish. Oh, I've got dog hair on me now. It is the most common fish served down here in restaurants, I'd think. The commercial yellowtail fishery is huge, a huge part of Key West. There are people that only target yellowtail. That's all they do. Tipsy, you cleaning up for me down there? Catching anything I'm dropping? You got it under control, right? Watch your nose. I don't want to take it off. This is a new knife. Got pin bones right there. Oop, trying to save as much as I can. Pin bones to about, you can feel them. It's a little different on some fish, but about halfway back. And I fully realize that is ugly, but what we're doing with it, it's not going to matter. Tipsy, how did your dog hair get up here? What is going on? That is our yellowtail snapper. A little ugly, but edible just the same. I'll see you in the kitchen. Alright, so I have our yellowtail. And just to be clear, this is not the yellowtail you think of, or the yellowtail you get when you think of sushi. Like you see on the sushi menu where it says yellowtail or hamachi, this is not the same yellowtail. But just because it's not the same doesn't mean you still can't use it for sushi. I know there's more popular fish. I think when everyone hears sushi, they think of tuna, maybe wahoo, or hamachi, yellowtail. But you can use, there's plenty of areas and countries that they actually use lots of different types of snapper. And it's actually very popular in sushi. But this is Atlantic yellowtail snapper. This is not Pacific yellowtail. So what I'm going to do is I took the bloodlines out just because we're going to be dicing this up and making some sushi out of it. We're going to make some regular rolls, and then we're actually going to make a little twist on some rolls. We're going to fry some of the rice and make one of Madeleine's favorites. But essentially all I'm going to do here, and I'll bring it down, I'm going to dice this up as small as I can. A sharp knife will make this a lot easier. Mine's about a 6 or 7 out of 10. The sharper the knife, the better. So I'll cut it down into strips, and then just into little tiny cubes. I almost want to mince it. You can see about as, that one's a little big, but that's the gist of it. Alright, so we are going to make our spicy yellowtail snapper. Got it all nice and diced. Got some green onions from the garden box. So some green onions. A little bit of mayo. And start light. You don't want to go too mayo-y. And then spice. You can either use sriracha, whatever you like as spice. Sriracha or sambal are popular. We like this. Sriracha's a little sweeter. Sambal has a little more kick. And a little bit of sesame seeds. And then sesame seed oil. This stuff goes a long way. Think of it as concentrated. You don't need a ton. Just a couple decent drops. The peanut gallery over here making noises. If you're wondering what those weird hums and ahs are, Madeleine's over here drooling.
Maybe I can be the taste tester?
It's not ready for taste testing. It'll be ready when that's done. So I'll call you, okay?
I don't know. Looks good.
And you can see I didn't add, I mean, it wasn't a ton of mayo, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And it goes quick, so like I said, start light. I almost went too heavy there, but that smells spicy, looks good. That's what we want. Alrighty, we're not done yet, but we do have to roll some sushi. We've got one other thing we're gonna make, but I think this takes the longest. So we'll start with making a couple rolls. Over the years, I've really spent a lot of time trying to perfect my sushi, and I've learned that the biggest thing is the rice. If you don't have the rice correct, it's not gonna be very good unless you have just a ridiculous amount of sauce. Now, what has made the rice really good for me is adding rice vinegar to it after. Not just rice vinegar out of the bottle, like sushi rice vinegar where you make it yourself. I'll throw a recipe up. I think it's like, I got it from Outdoor Chef Life, and this is ballpark. It's about a cup of rice vinegar, I think a third cup of kosher salt, and about half to 3/4 cup brown sugar. Boil it, throw some kombu in there, and I make it in big batches. And once the sushi rice comes out, you cover it in it and toss it. Not too much to soak it, but that really makes a huge difference on the rice quality. And that in turn makes the sushi good. So we are going to make some sushi. And I still consider myself a novice when it comes to this. I just still find it so impressive when you go into a sushi restaurant and watch them work, how quickly and efficiently they can do this. But I'm going to make the roll, well, I'm going to attempt to make the roll where the rice is on the outside, not the inside. So that's why I cut the sheet, the nori sheet in half-ish. And don't press that rice down on the cutting board. Got our spicy yellowtail snapper. Whoop, hold on. How much I need here. And I'm just going straight yellowtail snapper. I doctored it up so much I shouldn't need much else in there. You can throw avocado or cucumber, whatever else you like, but I'm just going straight spicy snapper. Like that. And I always thought these were a joke. This is serious. You need this. It is like a requirement. It really compacts the rice and makes everything nice and even. And there you are. That one's just a little bit fancier. Uh-oh. Of all the technology we have not figured out how to make saran wrap, not a giant pain. I don't want to hear any laughing back there. Alright. So I've got these little, like I said, just sushi rice, but I ball them up and chill them. If you go too big, they're more prone to fall apart, I've learned over time. Trial and error. Will actually showed me this. Cooking with clams. Ah! So what I haven't figured out yet is how to make them, or how to not make them stick. Sometimes when they stick, the crunchies that you want get lost. So you lose like the top layer there. You can't lose the crunchies. You're not like cooking these crazy long or anything, just enough to, there's got to be a secret to that. Ooh, it's warm. Maybe it's because it's in a cast iron. There you go, that one was perfect. You go just long enough to, maybe I'm not letting them cook long enough, I don't know. But just long enough to make the edges brown, and it gives it just a little bit of crunch. Yeah, I think I pulled them too early, that's why they stick. So I think one of the funniest crazes going on right now is this whole sushi thing where you're just like, you relocate and reshape the sushi and call it something crazy like pizza sushi. But it's the same ingredients. It's kind of like the Taco Bell Taco Bell marketing thing.
Yeah.
It's fully Taco Bell's marketing plan where they just relocate the cheese and call it something else. I'm fully aware that this is a case of that, but I think the difference is I'm not calling this innovative.
But the crunchies are also an added.
The crunchies, yeah, but the crunchies have become popular lately. Will showed this to me, but then now he showed it to me about a year ago. And then now I notice it's all over the Instawebs and all that.
People like the crunchies.
But it is funny. It's like sushi donut. It's rice and tuna and avocado. It's shaped like a donut. Yeah, so Madeline loves these because of the little rice crunch. All right, so we're gonna have for sauces a little ponzu. For some reason, I don't know what it is. The more I have sushi, the less I like soy sauce. Or I like to dilute it a little. I just feel like soy is so powerful. And this stuff, unfortunately, they went out of business.
You gonna tell them a story?
And long story short, Madeline tracked down like a farmer's market in like Maine or something and called this little old lady and screamed at her and made her ship them down.
Okay, no screaming involved.
So we have like the last 3 bottles of this in I think the world. Or the US, so we're using it sparingly. But if by chance the owner of this company is watching, please make another batch of this sauce. It's really good. Do you want to eat this on anything else?
No.
I'll bring it just in case.
Wow.
I can dig it. Oh man, I don't know. I may have to take a...
Hold on. I want to take a video.
I might have to take a video.
You do it.
By the way, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you can go over to Instagram and follow us. We have Instawebs accounts. I actually just changed my dibs on bottom one to Key West Waterman.
Yep. I don't post that much, but I'm starting to get back into it.
What's your Instagram name?
Madeleine Madeline. Madeleine _Madeline.
And I changed mine to Key West Waterman. I'm going to take a photo, or a video, sorry guys.
Hold on. Did I already eat that 7th one?
I don't know, you tell me.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, so tell me what we got here.
Alright, so this is
I know
the
this.
scallop, cucumber, avocado, spicy yellowtail tower.
Okay. Perfection.
I'm going to save you some time. It's all spicy yellowtail with the same ingredients shaped differently.
Okay. I'm going to try without sauce. Oh gosh.
What?
Actually, you know what?
But I want to say, look how far. Ah, that's a good thought. It's like a bun. Look how far the shape of my sushi has come. It used to be so scary.
Ooh. Ooh, yeah.
Good. I wonder if that running water is making someone at home have to pee.
B for togetherness.
Listen, the consumer is the one that is handling it. That has nothing to do with me.
Well, I don't know.
Ooh, those just a little bit of soy or ponzu don't really need anything.
A for
Oh my gosh.
flavor.
I just realized what I forgot in the spicy mayo.
What?
Lime juice.
Wow.
That's the secret. Lime juice and the spicy mayo.
That was the spot when I was going on.
Oh, look how pretty.
Really
Alright,
good.
I'll flip it around.
I like the butts.
I know we're probably backlit, but It looks amazing if you can't see.
Wow, we're like at a full-on sushi restaurant.
I mean,
Mmm.
if you don't count the boat and all the gear and the gas and the trip to Islamorada and whatnot, it's way cheaper to make sushi at home.
Mmm.
That was,
Oh no.
that was sarcasm, clearly.
Hold on, so is this just a plain roll?
Excuse me.
I just making sure, you know.
It's a spicy yellowtail roll.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my crunchy hockey puck.
Wow.
I really like this. Oh. Oh no.
I should have given you a fork.
Mmm. Oh.
Here, I can do it with chopsticks.
I look like a barbarian.
That's, I mean, is that something different than normal? You should see her. You should see.
I swear, I have manners.
You should see Malin open a bag of potato chips.
Shut up.
Like a raccoon got in the house.
I just get really impatient. Yeah, this would have worked better with the fork. It kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
Okay. Mmm. Mmm, but it is good. Yeah, babe, you have gotten so much better at sushi now.
I've spent so much time obsessing over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to sit and talk with Toshi from Belize, a real sushi chef. That was cool.
Oh no.
Wow.
We're just gonna have to.
Everything's in the rice. It's all the rice. The rice is the layer.
Now when we go to sushi restaurants, we can tell if they don't really care about the rice. And I didn't really
Yeah.
think about rice before you started learning
you
about
just,
it.
in your, like, you just assume, like, it's rice. Like, what else do you do to rice?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do.
Mm.
Good. Tastes good.
Not bad.
Good job, babe.
And that's yellowtail snapper. Most people don't associate snapper with sushi, but it's really good. But I believe that is all we have.
Oh my God.
Do you have anything you want to share?
I don't.
All good?
All good. Life is good.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming along. A huge thanks to La Jolla for having us back up, and a huge thanks to Jake with Jake's Offshore Adventures for putting me on some fish. Clearly I couldn't catch anything rod and reel. If you're looking for a trip, give him a call. If you're looking for a place to stay, La Jolla Resort and Lodges, all their contact info will be in the description and in a pinned comment.
Yes, thank you. That was amazing.
Truly grateful to have these opportunities.
That was a beautiful vacation.
And we will see you on the next one. Later. Dude. I don't mean to be braggadocious, but I've gotten better at this.
Yeah, you have. I would pay $20 for this roll.
Perfect. You have cash?